Hello and welcome to Isaan Flicks. This morning I shall take you for a ride out into the Isaan countryside, as it is not raining, at the moment that is, just to see where we end up. I had thought about making a plan. I had checked out Google Maps, but I don't want to worry you, but nowadays at times I can forget what I'm doing while I'm doing it. So we have no plan, just an idea on where I would be heading. Furthermore, I am at the age where my mind thinks I'm still 39 years old. However, my humour suggests I am a mere 12. While my body mostly keeps asking if I am sure I am still alive. But with that said, I do have a GPS in case I may get lost, but getting completely lost in Ubon Ratchathani province is very difficult. At times one may not know where you are exactly, but that is not really being lost. So let's just keep going for now, as it doesn't matter where you go in life, as it all comes down to who you travel with. It's mid-morning and there's not many people out and about and hardly any traffic so far. Decision time, which way? I think I will turn left, as that is the easiest and safest choice. I do like riding out and about in this area, as there is hardly ever any traffic as such. However, you do have to keep an eye out for other vehicles, as they may well be thinking the same and not fully concentrating. And of course, occasionally, the odd farming vehicle may just appear from nowhere. So one must pay attention, as the last thing one needs out here is to have an accident and get yourself hurt. Another thing I do like is looking at all the houses and how they are built, as there are some very nice houses out here. Some are small, some are big, and a few are very large indeed. Many are sitting on nice large plots with nice trees, plants and foliage. As you can see, the road is nice and dry, even after all the rain, which is a good indication that this area is not prone to flooding. Something one needs to be aware of when buying land or property in this area, or in fact any area in Thailand. You do need to do your homework before buying land or property. Check the area out, ask around, but never believe all what you are told, is my advice. Check the area and landscape for yourself, and of course be careful about buying anything too close to a river or any water catchment area. I remember when living in Pattaya and seeing houses being built in areas prone to flooding, where ponds or marshland had been drained back in the late 1980s. In areas I had seen and had experienced some very deep flooding. After all, rainwater has to go somewhere. I once tried to advise a friend from buying a new property in one of those areas and was told I was only jealous, so have avoided giving advice unless I am asked for it. But then I always suggest they check for themselves and not take my word for it. After all, having your house and home flooded is not nice. And yes, the property in question did suffer flooding some years later. Now, talking of flooding, I can see the road in front of us is flooded. My goodness, the whole area in front of us is flooded. I remember there is an irrigation canal that runs through what can be described as a valley to provide water for the farmers. However, they seem to have had too much. Now, of course, this area is prone to flooding. And as you can see, the rice farmers are now fishermen. There's lots of little boats tied up. My goodness, it goes for a long way, right towards the River Mun. So, a change to the plan I didn't have, as I shall turn around and head elsewhere. I shall now take a left turn when we get to the top of this incline and see where we end up. As you can just about make out, it is a fairly steep incline from the low-lying valley area, which will give you a good idea the valley was prone to flooding. Or living in the countryside. It's a question, in my opinion, of paying your money and taking your choices, as it doesn't matter where you live in Thailand as long as you are happy. Now, I do have to say, living here in Isaan, in Ubon Ratchathani province, will not be everyone's cup of tea. As I mentioned, we did live in Pattaya for some 25 years, saw many changes, some for the better and some, well, let's leave it there. Whereas Phuket was nice, but we were on the east coast, well away from the tourist destinations and resorts, and where property was a little cheaper. Well, then. It can be said there is not a lot to do in Ubon Ratchathani province. However, that can be said for almost anywhere, as it all depends on your personal needs or what you want. Ubon Ratchathani has everything you need, but may not have all you want. Of course, it does not have any beaches with sea views. However, it does have a few national parks, many temples, and a lot of countryside to explore. So apart from beaches with sea views, you could find almost everything else, although probably not as easily as one would in Bangkok, Pattaya or Phuket. But with that said, there are plenty of shopping malls and market complexes which do have everything we need. Yes, there are a few beer bars scattered around the province, but they are unlike what you would find in the main tourist areas. But Isaan life, for me anyway, does not revolve around beer bars. I often get asked about the cost of living, and my answer is always first, you have to define what your living is, as everyone has different circumstances and commitments, so of course the costs of living will differ. So my answer is usually as much as you can afford. Personally, I have been in Thailand for a long time. My family were born and raised here, as our grandchildren are. So Thailand is my home, and my monthly costs vary, but one could survive and get by on, say, £500 sterling a month, provided you do not pay rent or have to make car payments. But as I said, everyone has different circumstances, such are you single or a couple or more? And again, no single person lives the same in my experience, so the cost of living anywhere is a difficult question to answer. The cost of food could be cheaper than your home country, but again it would depend on what you buy and where you buy it. Thai or Isaan street food is relatively cheap, but again that is dependent upon whether you can eat it or not. Many supermarkets in the larger shopping malls are equal or have better choices than what I can remember seeing in the UK or Europe. That's my opinion, but with that, of course, comes the additional costs. So again, it comes down to what you want or really need. Now, as for house prices or the cost of land, that is, in my opinion, another unanswerable question, as the variables are too numerous to give an average cost. For here in Isaan, looks as though it's a T-junction we're coming up to. No, on the right, no, that doesn't get us anywhere. We'll turn left. Well, I think we'll just have to end this video soon, and we'll see if we do make the Moon River, and perhaps that will be my next video. But if you did like my little rambling, think about giving me a thumbs up, share the video, leave me a comment or subscribe if you haven't already done so, so you will ensure not to miss out on our next video. I can see the river on our right, but it's having to cross people's property. There must be a road further along where we can get down to the river. But we'll leave that for another video. So until my next video, it's a very goodbye from me.